What's up, y'all? How's it going? Marshall Lee of DonkeyJawProjects.com. This is the Working Artist Vlog, and just wanted to pop on real quick and kind of get a little vlog started. This is we're in the thick of it now. When it comes to moving. It's Saturday. Literally a week from now, we will be moving out of this hellhole I call an apartment. It's not that bad. I know people have lived in worse, but it's the worst place I've ever lived. Hey, look, we still got some cool stuff on the wall though. But here, take a look at what I'm kind of looking at. I just got something really cool in the mail, and it's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. But I'm really excited about the prospects of what we can do with this. So here, check it out. Bam! Look at that. I got this new printer. This is what my studio setup looks like now. It's a mess. This is our apartment. I mean, we're packing, we're getting ready to move. It's really windy outside. You can see. And this stuff's gonna be all ready to go soon. That's what I'm predominantly gonna be doing today, but I took all my art stuff down, and my workspace I just noticed in the Discord they asked, what does your workspace look like? And I was tempted to just show them a picture of my backpack. I might just do that. Because that's pretty much what my workspace is right now, and that's what it's probably going to be. This printer is bigger than my workspace, so wherever I go, I'm going to get my iPad out and I'm going to work on comics, and that's what my workspace is. And if I do traditional, I'll sit at a table and do that, or I also have like these pieces of wood. I can actually show you right here. I have like these. This was like from an old desk, the old desk I used to have, but you could see I even have a page set up there. That was something I was supposed to do and never got to. But yeah, so I can sit in a chair and kind of work on comics that way too. But now I have a big printer that scans at I literally just set it up, about an hour and a half ago. But check this out. Doo-doo-doo. I set it up because I do actually have to do some printing before I move. But this is a large-scale printer, so you can put 11 by 17 comic pages on there. So I've been wanting that forever. Finally was able to grab one. And I did some prints. I'm going to be printing like actual art prints to sell, and comics through this. Once again, the challenge to make the most comics in a year will definitely be helped by having a printer, and I'm really happy that I got this. This was actually Mike Emmerich kind of helped me. Like, this is similar to the one that Mike Emmerich uses. He gets really good prints. I have some of his prints. Well, they're not hung up now. They used to be hung up over here, but that he gets some really good prints done, and he uses the same printer. So I'm very similar printer. I've had problems with Epson in the past. Trying to use different ink cartridges caused it to fail in a way that I wasn't able to even make it work again, even with Epson cartridges, because the Epson cartridges are really expensive. If you buy like a cheaper printer, like you go to Walmart, you can get a printer for like $30 nowadays. You go there, the printer ink, once you run out, is like double the price of the actual printer, so you might as well just buy a new printer every time you need printer ink. It's crazy. I don't know how much it's going to be for this. Hopefully it's not crazy. Mike has said that there's other ways you can refill the printer ink, I think, that's cheaper. I'm afraid to do that because in the past when I've used Epson and not used the cartridge, I've come up with failures that have caused me to not even be able to use the printer again. So I'm really afraid to do that, because this was not super expensive, but it was, enough where I can't just buy a new printer or whatever, it's an investment. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm really excited of what it can do. I did do some test prints. I'll show you. I didn't get the cropping right yet, but I, uh, the first thing I printed was this, just straight from like Procreate, and it came out pretty good, I think. The detail's decent. And I really wanted to see like what the detail would be, because in Procreate you can't. This is something, if you want to make comics in Procreate, you can definitely make comics. I'm going to be doing some more tests. But one thing that, with line work illustration, and I was actually talking to Mike about this too, is you need to be able to turn off the anti-aliasing to get those crisp lines. And unfortunately, in Procreate there's not really a way to quite do that. But if it translates fine in the printing, then maybe it doesn't matter. And you can see this doesn't necessarily look like crisp lines, because first of all, the kind of brush I used was like a textured brush, so it's not meant to look super crisp. But there's a little tiny bit of fuzziness, and it depends. Like if I'm doing a mini comic, I might be okay with that, but if I'm doing like super professional, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. So I don't know if Procreate's the way to go necessarily for line work. I don't know, but Clip Studio is really awesome on the iPad as well. So I've been using that a lot, but there's problems with that because the way they do their file system and trying to save files in there, I've been coming up with these errors saying, it says operation is not authorized, which is ridiculous, just to save a file. And what I found out is, I actually did notice it happened in another program too, so I'm really confused at why that's happening on the iPad. But at first I thought it was an iPad problem. Then I found out that there's issues with Clip Studio Paint, and the fact that their file system, they kind of try to keep it contained within the Clip Studio file system, and it's hard to like go back and forth from like cloud services and just the iPad storage and all that. So that's frustrating. I've been trying to figure that out, but also I've been getting this error, even just to save the file. Like if I want to save as, I get this error, operation not authorized. And it's like, so how am I supposed to work around that? I don't know. I've Googled a lot of things. I can't figure it out. I'm really frustrated with that right now. But that all, if I can figure out that problem, Clip Studio is awesome on the iPad. Like working with it is great. It's a fully featured Clip Studio EX, first. The only other thing is it's a subscription fee, which is like, another subscription fee. I don't really want to pay that, but it's kind of, if I can get this file situation sorted out, it's kind of worth it. So anyways, this is actually the third thing I printed out, and it came out pretty cool. The second thing came out better. This was me trying to fidget with the settings and make it even better quality, which I didn't really need to, because just printing it normal came out so amazing. Like I could print all my comics and make it look like, this is satisfying to me. I am so impressed with how this looks. I'm excited. The printer, I think I'm really looking forward to what we can do with this printer. So this is really cool. Again, this is not my line work. This is my friend Jonathan Rector did this commission for me of my character Glyph and Tusk, and I think it's amazing art. And I went in and colored it with the old school style coloring, comic coloring with the kind of dot tones. And I have the debaser color set or whatever in from True Grit, and that's how I was able to get those dot tones. It really gets a pretty darn authentic effect of old comics and stuff. So I'm excited. Yeah, this is gonna work out. I think this is gonna be really cool, and I'm looking forward to messing with it. So a big part of our getting ready to move process. Hey, look at that beautiful little water stains. It leaks here in this little kitchen. Anyways, so a big part of the moving process is for us is, like I said, we're moving towards minimalism. We're not going to be the crazy minimalists who have nothing, in our house, sit on the floors, and when we talk, everything echoes, necessarily. Not to put judgment on anybody, but that's just not where we're going with our thing. But we are moving towards minimalism. So we're getting rid of stuff, and that's a huge part of us moving. Like, we probably have gotten rid of or are in the process of getting rid of basically 2/3 of everything we own. But we're still going there with a lot of stuff that is just not things that we use in our everyday life, like crates worth of stuff. The plastic, bins or whatever you call them. We probably have at least 6 of those, probably more. Some of it's my stuff, some of it's Lindsay's. It's just nostalgic stuff that we just can't part with yet. But what we're going to do is everything we bring to the new place, we're only going to keep the absolute essentials in the apartment, like the cooking ware, only the things that we use all the time for cooking ware, the plates and stuff. We're going to bring in, obviously, our clothes, bathroom needs, things that we absolutely use all the time. And everything else we're going to keep in crates in the garage. And if and when we need them, we will take them out of the crates. And if we find out we don't need them anymore, we'll either put them back in the crates or get rid of them. And then, maybe after a year or so, we'll take a look at what's in the crates and see, like, what was life like? Did we do we need to still keep this stuff around? You've heard me talk about the art that I have. I still haven't I got rid of a lot of stuff, but I still have plenty of it, most of it, I guess. I'm still not 100% on, am I going to get rid of it or not, but I'm definitely going to scan it, get it archived, and I'd like to make like a sketchbook, like I said. But at the same time, will I keep it? I'm kind of leaning more on the side of getting rid of it. But I mean, I'll keep. I don't think I'll ever get rid of all of it. I'm sure there will be pieces and stuff that are just like, you really can't experience it without seeing it in actually physically. And there is something different to seeing the physical version of it as opposed to a printed version of it or a digital version of it. There's definitely something to that. So, I don't know. It's hard to get rid of the art, but I'm going to try. And worst case scenario, it's all in a bin or two or however many things it takes up, and it's stored away in the garage or wherever we live next, storage place. But at least it's not in the common area of living. I'm not going to have a studio at the new apartment. My setup is going to be wherever my iPad is, or wherever, I just talked about that in the vlog. So I'm not having a dedicated space necessarily, but I will have a dedicated space for the printer, which actually will be in the garage, I think, because I don't want to bring that big thing in my apartment. So I'll have a dedicated space for that, and I actually have some ideas of how I'm going to do that. Like, that's kind of going to be my studio, but what it's really going to be is a place where I print stuff, and where I prepare stuff to send out, to ship. So I'm going to kind of have this whole station where I print and ship, so you guys will have the opportunity to buy stuff if you want, and I can just kind of print on demand as I go. So I'm excited about that. But we're going to try to keep that minimal as well. I don't want to like hoard tons of printing supplies and tons of, stuff that has been printed that was mistakes and whatever. Like, I'll recycle it, whatever. Like, I don't want to hoard stuff. Like, yes, maybe I'll have some extra supplies on hand, envelopes and stuff, but I want to even keep that to a minimal. So everything is focused on that. We're getting rid of tons of clothes. Like I said, 3/4. I mean, there's stuff I'm still hanging on to, but it's a process. Like, we're not going to get rid of everything that we're going to end up getting rid of is not going to necessarily get rid of before the move. We'll probably keep revisiting this as we go, and move towards more and more minimalism as we go. So it's a process, but I'm really excited about it because it really I love how it feels to not be focused on what can you get, the consumerism mindset, and also the idea that when I need to clean my whole house, first of all, just the maintenance of keeping it clean, it's so much easier to take care of your stuff when you don't have a lot of stuff. And also, like, say it does get kind of messy, but we're having guests over. In the past, it might take a day or two, to really, like a full day or something, maybe, to clean a house or an apartment. And now it probably will take me like 45 minutes to clean everything. The less stuff you have to manage. So, I mean, I don't know the exact times it's going to be, but I'm really excited about being able to maintain that and enjoy my time. Instead of spending my time cleaning, enjoy my time with my wife. We can enjoy the time to make dinner together, or do a project together without having to worry about cleaning up a huge mess first, and then cleaning up a huge mess after. So many benefits to this whole idea of minimalism. I'm just really excited. And less stuff to dust and clean, and yeah, it's just the less stuff you have, the less stuff you have to maintain, and the less you have to think about it too, because that physical clutter causes kind of mental clutter as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys can relate with having a studio, and when it's messy, sometimes it's hard to create because you're just thinking about all the things you have to clean up, or the clutter, just something about the clutter makes your mind cluttered as well. Not everybody feels that way. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable in a mess, but some people have this thing where things have to be clean before they can work. And if you're like that, then having a lot of stuff is got to be like torture, Like I said, I can deal with it, but at the same time, I get why having less stuff can be helpful too. And I feel like it's just going to be so much less of a burden. And you think, I don't know, I guess I've gone into it enough. I'm not trying to sway you or anybody else into minimalism. I'm just explaining where I'm at. But first, before I get to working on all that, I'm hungry. I don't know about y'all, but I'm hungry. I need to make something for lunch, so let's do it. This is something I like to make from time to time. Just get some English muffins, whatever kind of bread you like, but I like to use English muffins. And I get some, forgive the mess, but see, this does not look like minimalism, does it? I get some, we already made some, so it's like not full yet anymore, but we just happened to get this kind of pizza sauce. We didn't know what to get. We ended up getting this. So we get this. I like to cut up pepperoni and have like thicker slices, but this is also good. So I got some that, Lip Medics, which is not part of the ingredients, and I don't think we have any mozzarella cheese left, but we have some Monterey Jack cheese. Cheese. It's the bane of my existence, because we want to try to go vegan at some point. Obviously, this is not a vegan meal, but cheese is something I have a hard time getting away from. But we get those 4 ingredients, and we're gonna make some little pizzas out of English muffin. Put the sauce on, and I forgot actually like I said, this whole place is a mess. We have been so busy. I haven't gotten to clean stuff very much lately, but I'm gonna put it up to 350, preheat it. I forgot to preheat, so I'm just gonna let it heat for a little bit. Yeah, we have that fire alarm. You can probably hear it going off too. That firehouse, where it comes from, is like a block and a half, maybe 2 blocks down the road. and it's loud, especially if the windows are open, especially if you happen to be at the store next to it. It can get stupid loud. We're moving away from this area, but we're still, it's not that far away, but I'm sure we'll probably still be able to faintly hear it, but I'll be glad to not have that sound in my ears all the time. It's definitely far enough where I think we won't hear it as much. So yeah, the alarm is still going off. Oh, I think it's finishing. Yeah, that sometimes it goes on for a long time though. That was a pretty long one. It was about maybe a minute. But it feels like longer sometimes, and sometimes it is way longer. It's crazy. But anyways, got the cheese, the first layer of cheese, a layer of pepperoni. There's about 3 pieces on each. Some of them have some little double layers there, just kind of by accident, but whatever, doesn't matter. And then another layer of cheese to kind of seal it all in. And we're not at preheat level yet, but once we do, I'll pop it in the oven for, I don't know, let's say 10 minutes. Maybe I'll put a timer on for 10 minutes and then, check it. I'll just kind of check it as I go. I don't really do precise like meals sometimes. I just kind of put ingredients and, check it as I go. And you should check anyways, because even if you have a specific time that they tell you at a specific temperature, everybody's oven is different, and you could overcook it or undercook it, and you just want to actually just always be checking it and making sure that it's cooked the right way. So yeah. And of course, while I'm making stuff, if you're as hungry as I am, or not because you're just a pig, you can kind of eat as you go and have a little snacky do. So I got some pepperoni. And if you're impatient like me, you might put the stuff in the oven before it's finished preheating, but I've been talking long enough here that it actually is finished preheating, so. Wow, that oven needs to be cleaned. Actually, I should put it on the middle rack. What a mess. But that will be cleaned soon. Got it set for 10 minutes. Yeah, so obviously the oven needs to be cleaned. But that'll be cleaned soon because we're moving and we want to get our deposit back, so. We're going to do kind of minimal cleaning this time. We usually clean really well wherever we come from. And we'll clean good enough here, but I'm not going to go crazy because this place is not, like, we didn't get it clean, it wasn't like pristine, when we got it. And I don't know, I'm not trying to, I do actually believe in, do unto others as you would have done to you. And so we are going to leave it nice and clean, but it's not going to be like, we're not going to bend our backs over, to try to get this thing perfect. Because honestly, they really need to just do some extra work here. They need to pull up the rugs and get new rugs in here. And yeah, they haven't been the most horrible. They actually got us a new refrigerator and I think oven too, when we first moved in, because it wasn't working so well. But I mean, you kind of have to, but you can't just leave people with messed up appliances unless you're asking them to provide their own appliances. So it is what it is, but whatever, who cares. It's actually only been about 5 minutes, but I think we're actually done. This isn't stuff that has to be like super well cooked. It's not like raw chicken or something. It's all stuff that's either been like pre-cooked or it's just not stuff that needs to be cooked. I think I will leave it in there for a little bit, see if I get a little brown on those edges. And then, I'll take it out, let it cool off, and I'm going to go down and do some laundry, get some laundry going. and when I come back they should be ready to eat. Oh yeah, it's looking good now. It's all done. It actually went the full 10 minutes. I'm gonna take it out now. That was like the perfect timing actually. Let me get the thing to hold the pan with, the oven mitt. Oh, recycling. This kitchen is so small. Like, you can see the recycling right there, and it's just, you turn around and all you see is walls. It's just, that's one of the reasons we want to move. But yeah, these are done. They look great. Good stuff. I'm gonna finish these and then it's time to get to work.